Okay, so I had the pleasure of seeing Miss Peregrine's Home for the Peculiar Children.
Yeah.
Home for Peculiar Children.
Which it
last
sounded really interesting.
It's
this school that takes place
Tim
in
Burton's Harry Potter.
Yeah.
Is exactly what it is.
But it's a school that's trapped in a time loop?
It's a school that's trapped in a time loop. So basically, the story is that there's this kid, Asa Butterfield, who was a contender to be Spider-Man at one point before
he played
the
Ender
role went to
in Ender's Game.
Tom Holland. Never saw it.
Wasn't bad.
But Asa Butterfield plays a kid named Jake. And his grandfather is like very eccentric, and Jake's family like believes that he is suffering from dementia. The grandfather's name is Abe. So basically, Jake's grandfather dies, and while growing up, Jake's grandfather kept telling him all these stories about these people with all these children that he was in a school with that had all these amazing powers, like a girl that had super strength, a girl and a boy that had super strength, and a girl that was lighter than air, and all this really crazy stuff, and Miss Peregrine who could turn into a bird and all this stuff. But when Jake was a kid, his dad was like, "No, that's all bullshit. Your dad's making all that stuff up." So eventually Jake's all like, "You lied to me, Grandpa," and all this stuff, and ends up not believing it. Okay, so that's kind of a, they lost the belief in you, kind of angle that they're going for. It's very cookie cutter in as a
because it is based
story
on a series of books,
right?
So yeah.
So anyway, Jake, through a series of events, ends up in Wales, where the school is, and he goes and finds the school, and he realized that it was bombed in like 1943 during the World War II, and just want to specify.
It was one of them.
It was one of them. So he doesn't. He's like mad because now he's like, well, my grandpa really lied to me, because at first he thought that maybe there was a chance that he wasn't. So then he goes back to the house, into the ruins, and he sees one of the girls, and he follows them into this cave, and that's the time loop. And when he comes out, he's back in 1943. And he meets all the kids, and apparently it's like every day Miss Peregrine, because she has a different set of powers besides just becoming a bird, she can reset the day. So they all go outside, and she puts on this record, and as the bombs are falling, she resets the clock. And they all stay young, but they have like memories of the days past and everything. And apparently if they go outside of the time loop, time catches up to them, and they just grow old instantly or die.
Okay, so then my question is, how did his grandfather get out of the time
He
loop?
left because his peculiarity is that he can see these monsters that are other peculiars that decided to leave the time loops, and they started hunting other peculiars and eating their eyeballs in order to gain some kind of immortality. It's weird.
What the
Yeah, but they turn into these, they're called hologhasts, and they turn into these invisible, like Slender Man looking monsters.
Oh shit.
And he can see them. So he goes out to hunt them. That's the grandfather. And that's also Jake's peculiarity as well. So let me talk about the movie, because I don't want to like spoil anything.
Sure.
So we'll talk about
You can
the movie.
spoil it
First
for
off,
me after.
it's the Tim Burtoniest Tim Burton movie I've seen in a while.
Is it actually
Probably
a Tim
since-
Burton movie?
Yes, Tim
Oh,
Burton
okay.
directed it. Probably since Sleepy Hollow, or
Yeah.
even before that, style of imagery that Tim Burton is famous for, the whole goth thing.
Yeah, Edward
And could you
Scissorhands and stuff
imagine,
like that.
would Hot Topic even exist if Tim Burton had never made a movie in his life?
I don't know, but now I
Would the
kind of want to
goth-
see.
Would the goth scene even be a thing?
Yeah,
if
I
it
kind of
wasn't
want to
for Tim
see
Burton?
like an alternate universe movie
Where
where
there's
Tim
no
Burton
Tim
never
Burton.
existed.
Well, Tim Burton actually has a cameo in this movie, and I
nice.
caught it. It was really quick. He was on a roller coaster, and there's a fight between all these skeletons and the hologas, because one of the peculiar kids can reanimate dead bodies and make them fight each other or whatever. But he almost gets hit by a skeleton, and it was like a real quick cut of someone almost getting hit, and I was like, that's Tim Burton right there. So he definitely has a cameo in that.
Nice.
But it's Tim Burton. I don't know who did the music to it. I was gonna assume that it was Danny Elfman, but I kind
they
of
work together
I wasn't
a lot.
paying as much of attention as I should have during the opening credits, and I think because I actually started looking, and then it got to the directed by Tim Burton screen. I was like, I missed who did the music. I wouldn't be surprised.
I mean, they work together a lot. Did it sound like Danny Elfman music?
Not as much as I would have thought. And I don't know how to spell Peregrine, apparently, because I can't look it up.
Peregrine.
I did, and it didn't come up. Now I just looked up Tim. I'm retarded today. I might go vote for Trump after all. What is... I can't type today, apparently. Here he is. Tim Burton, American filmmaker. I've got to get like to his discography, or his filmography, sorry. Let's see. Man, he's made a lot of movies.
Yeah, he has.
When did Tim Burton start to drop off for you? Because I think everybody has that moment, right?
Probably Batman Returns, honestly.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
I mean, because I loved Nightmare Before Christmas, but he didn't direct that. He produced that.
He did produce it, and he wrote the story.
Yeah.
For that. And it definitely
Sleepy Hollow
has
wasn't great, but it was
liked
decent.
Sleepy Hollow. Let's see.
But I
Sweeney
was also
Todd
never
was
the
okay.
Yeah, Sweeney Todd was all right. I was also never a huge fan of Edward Scissorhands, though. Like, it's all right. It has Winona Ryder in it.
Yeah.
I like Winona Ryder.
Music by Matthew Margeson. So Danny Elfman did not do it, and it did not sound very Danny Elfman-y.
Yeah.
Tim Burton was really good back in the day, and I really appreciated a lot of his films. Beetlejuice, Batman. I liked Batman Returns, Edward Scissorhands, and then The Nightmare Before Christmas, because it is Tim Burton's Nightmare Before Christmas, and Corpse Bride. He may have not directed all those,
I forgot
but
about Corpse Bride.
yeah, and he has that look. But as I get older, I find myself not liking as many of his movies. I think, for me, the drop-off point for him was the Planet of the Apes remake that he did.
With Mark Wahlberg?
Yes.
Wow, he
You
did
didn't
that?
know?
I did not know that he did that one.
Yeah.
Ugh.
Helena Bonham Carter was in that.
Was she?
Yeah, that's his wife.
Oh, yeah,
dude.
that's right. Yeah.
I enjoyed that movie, but I think that's where he kind of became a lot more mainstream in a way. Because now he's doing like Alice in Wonderland, and apparently he's doing some other stuff for Disney, which I was not a fan of Alice in Wonderland. I was not a fan of Charlie and the Chocolate Factory.
Yeah.
I did not like Dark Shadows
whatsoever.
So he's been really hit or miss, and mostly miss for me lately. But Miss Peregrine's Home for Peculiar Children seems kind of like a return to that earlier quirky kind of filmmaking. And since this isn't a Disney movie that he's doing, there was some really disturbing imagery in this film.
I mean,
like, I would
some
not
of the stuff you
take
talked about already
a young child to this. And what was it rated PG? Because it
Probably.
felt like a PG-13 movie.
Yeah.
Just based on some of the goriness of certain scenes. Like, you're talking about people eating eyeballs, and yeah, it's just it's.
I've got a thing with eyes too, so that's.
Dude, remember Hostel? Did you
No,
ever see
I
that
never
movie?
saw Hostel.
Oh, dude, there's a scene with an eyeball that
God, no.
absolutely will make you shudder.
No.
But okay, so Miss Peregrine, would I recommend you go see it in the theater? Probably not, unless you're like a diehard Tim Burton fan that has seen every Tim Burton movie ever in the theater. Then yeah, otherwise I'd wait for it to come out on DVD or streaming or whatever.
Yeah.
But do I regret seeing it? No. Would I watch it again? Probably not. There wasn't anything in that movie that was just like, oh my God, you got to see this. It was just kind of like, yeah, it's a Tim Burton movie.
Yeah.
And it's very Harry Potter-y.
Yeah.
Like, as far as the story, where it's like the young boy who doesn't know that he has powers, and then discovers this magical world with all these other kids that you can do all these amazing things, and it's this school, and it's all hidden and all this stuff, and with the time loops, and they kind of made like almost kind of a Harry Potter-ish joke where they were like, yeah, one of the time loops is in a train station in London.
So
and I'm like, are they talking about Hogwarts?
Yeah, no, they are.
Platform 9 3/4?
So, okay, since this is based on a series of books, do you think they're going to make more of these?
The way it ended, yes, they can. The problem with the story that I have is that all these characters are supposed to be stuck in these time loops in this certain time period.
Yeah.
So all these characters are stuck in 1943. So if they go into any other time or go out of their time loop, which is like just this house, or the days don't get reset or whatever, they all grow
age
old.
80 years and die.
So the stories have to be contained within those worlds, unless in the next movie or whatever they found some way that they can travel outside
There's
the
a
time
new
loop without
peculiar
growing
who's
old or whatever.
Yeah, there's a new peculiar whose
Which
ability
is totally
to...
a possibility.
Yeah.
If another one comes out, I don't know. It just depends on how well this one does, and I haven't really seen a whole lot of marketing for this one,
because
so
it
I don't
just
really
came
think...
out, right?
I think it actually came out last week,
Oh.
but I'm not sure.
Yeah, because I haven't seen any box office gross.
It was
on or
just like,
anything.
hey, do you want to go see this weekend? I was like, okay, sure.
Yeah. Yeah.
Our movie theater's cheap, so
Yeah,
we get
it
to
is.
see movies for cheap.
That's
But
nice.
anyway, that's really all I got to say about Miss Peregrine's Home for Peculiar Children.
I feel like
It
that's
was all
enough.
right. Yeah. It was enough.